Hello, everybody. Time for some guitar tonight. You want to swing by denverguitarorchestra.com, pick up the sheet music, and I want the clipboard to work. All right, Twitter's working, and I'm going to go post this over on this site. Link to join. This, delete, Control V. Scroll back to where it's supposed to be in the first place. Always just scrolls magically. Don't know why. Okay. Bold. Link. Enter. Edit. Settings. Open a new window. Okay, this is class number 316 of our used to be daily. Now it's just twice a week guitar classes, and should be working now. Let's put this over on Twitter real quick. https://denverguitarorchestra.com, denverguitarorchestra.com. All right, we'll add the logo onto this guitar. Tweet. Alright, so we're up and running on Twitter, and people are getting settled in here, so in just a few seconds. Tonight we're going to play Row, Row, Row Your Boat, finishing that up. Last one, Three Blind Mice, hardest song in book 1. Alouette, Buffalo Gals, out of book 2. You Are My Sunshine, Vous, Dirai-Je, Maman, and all through the night from book 3. Then we have we're finishing up Carrousel by Claude, Gagnon, and starting Siciliano by Carcassi. So we're getting a real guitar composer from the classical era. Very exciting things are happening here. All right. I hope I did that right. All right. While you guys are settling in, get yourself tuned up. I'm going to get my book set up here. Carousel, we're doing that tonight. I hope that I can play it finally. I've been fighting it. And then excited about Siciliano. I printed it out, or I worked on it a little bit this week. Really enjoyable piece of music, so hopefully we'll have fun with that. All right, I think that's everything I need. Let's close this out. Go here. Go not to there. That's not what I need. This is the one I need. And let's go to set list. Guitar book 1. No, that's ukulele book 1. That's not what I want. Set list. Guitar book 1. Add. We're going to do Row, Row, Row Your Boat and Three Blind Mice. Sorry guys, I've been dealing with all sorts of technology changes here, and just trying to get caught up. Okay, good. That's good enough for the moment. Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Let's see how we do with that. This is the most important song in book 1, I think. No, second most important song in book 1. First most important song is for Jacques. That teaches you how to read tablature. This one teaches you how to play fingerstyle guitar. If you will do nothing but get a full command of how Row, Row, Row Your Boat works, everything else into book 4 is duck soup. All right, I need a tuner on here. I noticed when I went to the guitar thingamabop online guitar convention, they all kind of keep this back here sneaky like, so you're under the notion they're not using a tuner. I use a tuner. I see no reason not to use a tuner. That's gonna work. hopefully the sound is good. Vic said the sound is good, and it's a perfect evening. It's a perfect evening. We have a perfect 90-degree evening, so it's pretty close to perfect. Linda, sound is fine. Hey, Linda. The Linda number 2. I guess I don't like it. Call it Linda number 1 and Linda number 2. We have Linda and the other Linda, depending on which order they walk in the room. Huh? Elizabeth said, just visiting. Learned a lot today in Boulder. Is there a good time to call you tomorrow? Yeah, call me tomorrow. Elizabeth got a chance to go to Boulder and get a lesson from Mike Chapdelaine. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. He's was formerly, and I don't know if he still is, the director of guitar at the University of New Mexico, and probably, in my mind, one of the finest fingerstyle guitar players on the planet. He's really, really good. He ought to be way more famous than he is. The problem when you play solo guitar, you just don't get famous. And you've got to be a singer in order to get famous when you have a guitar in your hand. So yeah, I'm excited, Elizabeth. I'm excited to hear what you learned. All right, row your boat. We're going to play it 3 ways. I'm going to play the melody, you're going to play the chords. Then I'm going to play the chords, and you're going to play the melody, and then we'll play tough acts to finish it up. Okay? So I'm going to start with melody, you're going to start with chords. 1, 2. Play chords. Ready? Play. 3, 3, 3, oh, 2, 2, oh, 2, 3, 5, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, oh, 3, and then to tough fugue. The last note, I got it. He retired after 33 years, and I didn't realize that he'd been there. He doesn't look that old. 33, good for him, right? Now he lives in Boulder, so we should figure out how to just take his brain and put it in our brains. Well, that's exciting. Yeah, give me a call tomorrow, Elizabeth. Let's see if we can. You can catch me up on what he had to say. All right, row your boat. If you are in book 1. There's lots of the foundation of everything we do is in book 1, everything, with a couple of exceptions. We don't change chords in book 1, but look what you just did at this one. You're playing D, 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 and then you're playing this D. So you are, even though you're not changing chords, you are changing chord shapes and chord placement, and that's what you're going to do mostly in book 2. You've already gotten pretty comfortable theoretically playing melody, and you've already started to figure out how tough fugue is going to work for you. You take all of those pieces and parts and then it's all going to just turn into some magical music for you if you keep showing up and if you keep practicing and if you keep doing those things. What I find all of the time, and it's not something I'm critical of because I know how life works, but I meet lots and lots and lots of people who bought a guitar in the 70s, right? And then now they're getting it back out. And the only thing that prevented them from playing from then until now was they stopped showing up, right? And the reason they stopped showing up was they stopped pushing themselves a little bit all of the time to get a little bit better. You get real comfortable playing in one particular style or one particular format, and pretty soon you're bored with it and you quit. And you don't really quit in your head. The guitar ends up in the basement or under the bed or out in the garage. And so try not to be that person, right? Try to continually just be pushing yourself a little bit more, trying a new thing, trying this, trying that. And the best way to do that is to show up and talk to other guitar players, other musicians. Hey, what are you working on? What are you, I'm no good at this, but I want to show you what I'm doing, kind of thing. I do think it's a way of just continuing to push you. Three Blind Mice is going to be a pretty hard song to play compared to everything else in the book, and so you put your mind to it, right, and really focus on. Do you want to play Three Blind Mice as one of your songs that you impress audiences with? Probably not, but it's certainly a piece that's pretty challenging to play at this level. So talk about G chord. There are three main G chords. This is the one that's on the book here. Index finger in 2, middle finger in 3, ring finger all the way down on the first string in 3. Okay. To this day, this is my main G chord. Okay. You will see often this index middle. You will see them move the ring finger to the second string and then stick the pinky finger on the same spot that the ring was on. Okay, so put first and second string, 3rd fret, and then these two stay up here. That and my suction cups aren't holding tonight. Okay, a little bit more feisty G chord, I think. Okay, that's G chord shape number 2. The other one that I think is super important, and we're going to get into this when you get into book 2. You know how we made our E chord first night? Okay. Index, middle, ring. Okay. I want you to change all this fingering out for middle, ring, and pinky. So in other words, your ring finger, your middle finger is now 3rd string, 1st fret. Ring finger is 5th string, 2nd fret, and pinky finger is right underneath that, 4th string, 5th fret. Okay, still an E chord. Okay, and then that allows us to leave this finger open. Doesn't this guitar sound nice tonight? And this leaves this finger open when we can use it as a bar. That's why I tell you not to use a capo, because this is your capo and it's movable. Okay? Now let's slide everybody up 1 fret and add a bar. Take this finger just all the way up and down. It's going to sound like this. Okay, it's going to sound terrible, but eventually you'll get strong enough. Your hand, the muscles right here in your thumb area are going to get strong enough where you can get all the chord notes clean. That's an F chord. Okay, and the reason we went through that exercise is that we can take this shape, bar, with your E shape in front of it, slide it up to 3. Okay, bar on 3, E shape in front of it. Now it's a G chord. Okay, so if you play your G chord, go ahead and grab your G chord. Grab this one. I'm going to grab this one. And we're going to play the same song together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. They all went after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? Okay, I added in 2 extra beats there. In 11, I added 4 total beats in 11. Yeah, when you're first starting, this is how you're going to play G. When you get a little better, you're going to play it this way. Okay. Shortly thereafter, you're going to play it with that one. And the reason you'll play it with bar chords often is because of the other bar chords that are around it. But sometimes you want to be in charge of it. If I have a bar chord and I lift up, I can stop all of the sound. Okay. If I'm doing a regular G chord, I can't. If I lift up, it's still going. So I'm no longer in charge of all of the sounds coming out of the guitar. But when I use a bar chord, I am, and so it gives me more choices. Alright, so there's your G chord. The only one that really matters right now is this G chord. Okay, let's play the melody. I look through, whenever I get ready to play a melody, I see some 2s, some 3s, and some 1s, and that's it. So I know for sure I'm playing it in first position. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and I'm going to use any 1s are going to be in my index finger. 2s are always going to be my middle finger. 3s are always going to be my ring finger. Let's play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay, so there's your melody. Now, when we switch over to tough axe on this one, you grab your G chord and it will work, except that you have the melody's not going to be particularly cooperative here. So we're going to do yet another fingering of this shape, which is, instead of using index, middle, and ring, we're going to put middle finger, 2nd fret, 5th string, then ring, and then pinky. Okay, now still exactly the same G chord, I'm just using different fingers. Much more awkward to do, but it leaves this finger open to get some melody notes. Okay, so the first thing in tough axe is a 5-string strum, so do that. Then your index finger is going to come down on the 2 of the 3rd string, strum that, and then you're going to take the index finger off. You're already holding the 3 down with your pinky, purely decorative. Same thing again. Move your pinky to the 2nd string, play that. Take it off and replace it with the 1. And take the 1 off. Pinky. 2nd string. On the 2nd string there, that one's not decorative, that actually fits the melody. And then take it to the, and then drop your pinky to the 1st string. 202, use your index finger, and then pinky on 3. Then to the 2nd string. Grab the 2 with your index finger, 02. Your pinky, 2nd string, 1st string, 202, pinky on 3, bunny hop to the 2nd string, change it out for a 1, opens, decorative note, hit your melody and hit your 2 for the melody note, decorative note, and then 4 strings, and pinky. Okay, so with this one right now my hand is like, oh, that was a lot of work. Okay, so your hand should really be saying that, right? I've been playing guitar a little while. Still, this particular arrangement makes my hand tighten up quite a bit. And it's kind of here on purpose because we want to start toughening up your hand by really having you get thinking about alternative fingering and what are you going to do to get all of these things tight and clean. I don't care if it takes you 20 minutes to play through 3 Blind Mice. Do everything you can to get clean tones. So there's no time limit of how long it can take you to play 3 Blind Mice. Your job is to try never to have these 2 fingers move. These 2 fingers stay planted the entire time, and all of the rest of the melody is being played around them, and that's going to do a lot for helping strengthen this muscle here that runs your thumb. Okay, so those of you who are in book 1, just a reminder, all of the stuff we've talked about: holding the guitar, tuning the guitar, reading tablature, playing melody, playing chords, playing tough axe. So there's a lot of things going on in your head. try not to get the cart before the horse. I know you want to play the stuff in level 2 or the stuff in level 3 or the stuff in level 4. The way you get there is just making sure that you got your toolbox in great position from book 1. And so these pieces here are pretty darn important as you go into the future. I would say next week when we wrap book 1, you'll kind of make a self-assessment. You'll be like, you know what, I'm doing okay on book 1. Everything he plays makes sense to me. And then you'll be ready to move on to book 2. Probably already been taking a peek at those book 2's things, which I want you to. But we want to finish book 1 strong, and so just know who you are and what you're working on so that you can make good decisions about your future. All right, so there's the 3 blind mice. That's your work for the week, and then next week we'll do a brief recap of everything in the book, and then and play 3 blind mice, of course. So and then the week after we'll start all over again. Okay, book 1, actually, I'm always surprised when I'm like, oh wow, we're finished with book 1 already. All right, let's go on into book 2 then. And let's go play Alouette. Set list, guitar, book 2. Did I pull that up? I keep pulling up ukulele. I gotta switch these. Book. I must have used my other thing last week. Book 2. Create. Add. Okay, so we're going to play Alouette. And what else are we playing? Buffalo Gals. Alright. Right? That's book 2. Okay, done. Alright, Alouette. We're just playing this. Okay, so theoretically you spent the week really studying this one. Let's give it a try. D and E7. I'm just going to play the tough uke on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. A7. D chord. Just one time through on that. Again, I think that song it's not terribly difficult to play, but you do have a couple of bar chords in there. That this 2 and 5 pretty challenging to play. Also, you have the D chord with your pinky up on 5. That's very challenging to play. And just so you know, if that's not going to happen, right? I want you to continue to work on this because we do need this to come through at some point. But you can always change out index, middle, and pinky like this. The problem with this arrangement where you don't use your ring finger is that inevitably, it seems like, the next note after this is this 2, which means you have to refinger your whole chord, and it's slower, that's all. All right, so there's Alouette. Hopefully that's going well. I'm not going to play the other 2 ways, guys, just because we're running a tiny bit short on time. But you should have played them, right? In fact, let's grab the chords. Let's do it real quick, one time through. Grab your chords. I'm going to play it fast. See how you're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alouette, chante Alouette, plumerai la tête, je te plumerai la tête, et la tête, alouette, alouette, oh, 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 oh. D chord, alouette, gentille alouette, alouette, je te plumerai. Okay. It's fun, right? The melody on this one is definitely a solidly second position song. So if I'm playing the melody, I'm looking at 2s and 5s and 3s. I don't see a single one anywhere in the song. So I'm going to play almost the entire thing is here. When I see that 7 coming up, I might slide up into 5th position, or sometimes I'll slide just up into 4th position and just play 5s and 7s with this. All right, so there's that. There's Alouette. Love that. Let's go talk about Buffalo Gals. All right, with Buffalo Gals, it would have been this is a minstrel show song, so it's got a very troubled history, but it does have one thing going for it, and that is that you can, no matter what town you're in, you can just change the name, right? Buffalo Gals, won't you come out tonight? Denver Gals, won't you come out tonight? Vancouver Gals, won't you come out tonight? Eugene girls, won't you come out tonight? Who am I missing? Greeley girls, won't you come out tonight? Lakewood girls, won't you come out tonight? That's everybody, right? So you can change it. And the other thing that this song has going for it is you'll remember in It's a Wonderful Life when he's walking back, everybody's jumped in the pool at the sock hop. They're coming back. He and his girlfriend, he's getting ready to fly off to see the world, and he's walking back with his girlfriend, and they're saying, Buffalo Gals, won't you come out tonight? And then he accidentally steps on the end of her robe, and it comes off, and she jumps in the bush. And then his cousin, I think, comes by and says, hey, your dad's in the hospital. You got to come now. And so then he ends up not being able to travel the world because he has to take over the SNL, right? And so this is the last moment that our hero is happy. Let's talk about the 2 chords that you need with G chord. And unfortunately, they pairs very well with D7. Got to pull everybody up and go clear down here, and go and get that, and then pull everybody up. Come back over. Okay. So unfortunately, that's the chords you're dealing with. Let's sing it one time through. 1, 2, 3. As I was walking down the street, D7, down the street. Down the street, a pretty little gal I chanced to meet. Oh, she was fair to see. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon. Okay, so that chord, this is going to happen every single day in your life, so you might as well work on it a little bit. G chord, D7, G. The other thing to pay attention to, when you're on the G chord, this you're holding this finger down here, it's a G note. That's the root of your chord. So when you're plucking, your thumb can actually use that to your advantage, right? My thumb is on that top string. Get a real solid G sound. But when you go to D7, this is now an E. You don't want to play that. Sounds really wanky, right? You want to at least, your D string is your root note here, so it's better to put your thumb there. Sounds pretty nice. Okay. You'll also get away with it playing on the A string because A is one of the notes inside of D7. Okay, and so the one thing you can do when you're going back and forth, if you're playing the G chord, and then have your thumb drop down to the 5th string, and then back to the 6th. As I was walking down the street, down the street, down the street, a pretty little gal I chanced to meet. Oh, she was fair to see, if she was fair to see. With the D chord, you would start on your D string, and and then go to your A string. So if I do it exactly what's written on the paper, as I was walking down the street, G, down the street, and then to go to your D chord, down the street. See if I can do it better. As I was walking down the street, D chord, down the street, a pretty little gal chanced to meet. Oh, she was fair to see. That way you're using your thumb to help or anchor the whole song, or anchor each chord, and it'll make you sound a lot better. And the same thing goes with arpeggio plucking. As I was walking down the street, and my thumb is hitting that G string every time. Then when I go to D chord, down the street, a pretty little gal I chanced to meet. Oh, she was fair to see. You can see how fancy that gets really quickly when you're using arpeggio patterns, and just making sure your thumb hits the root note of the chord, and then 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it really makes your playing chords come way up. I think it's important to practice that. Next is the melody. Let's just play it through one time from the top. 3, 1, 2, 3. Also pay attention in the verses that sometimes there's multiple syllables. If you look at the fourth line, the tablature says, I danced with a gal with a hole in her stocking, and her he kept a knocking, and her toes kept a rocking. So you've got a whole lot of syllables in there for each note on there. You can just spice it up if you're playing melody and nobody's singing. You see what I'm doing? I'm adding in the correct note. Just plucking the note that's already written down multiple times to allow for all those syllables in there. Okay, last thing, let's talk about the arpeggio line. You can just go ahead and not worry about that. I would much rather you have it play the arpeggios off the chords than the arpeggios that I've written down. When I rewrite book 2, all those arpeggios are going to magically disappear. Because I don't think it's helpful to have me write them out until you're actually in orchestral play. By the way, those of you guys that joined orchestra last night, I think it became pretty clear that you're fine, right? You're fine. Whatever level you're playing at, you're fine. Those guys were struggling mightily with getting some melody out last night, and then Frances showed up as a very, experienced, solid player, and all of a sudden, because she's playing melody well, everybody else's melody went up. And that's the beauty of ensemble play, is you really just need one person who's pretty solid, and the rest of it, they bring everybody else up. And it was interesting to watch that the minute she came in the room, I could suddenly hear some of the other melody players working their magic as well. You also probably saw that, heck, you're doing every bit as well as we were doing online last night. So please come on Tuesday nights, even if all you can do is play melody, because that's really the important thing. Nobody knows what song we're playing if we don't have good solid melody rolling through. So all right, let's run through the tough acts real quick, and then this will be your job for the week. G chord, hit the 3, strum, big G, let it ring, D chord, 1 0 2, G chord. That 3, that it's like, oh my god, it's time to go back to the top and play this whole idea again. And so you're supposed to play it all 4 times. It's a good idea to go through, listen to the MP3, it'll play it through 4 times, and then read the words as you're going along. And the words are super cute to this, so it's worth that, worth putting in the time for. Vic says, hey, I learned quite a bit from orchestra. You learn that you're fine, mainly, and you're like, well, I'm working my brains off here, not playing that well, but I'm certainly not playing that terrible compared to what I'm hearing coming over the speaker either. So my favorite part about guitar orchestra is it's really, really hard, and even if you're just playing straight melody, it's the business of playing together that's the hard part of it. So it's different than playing solo. It really is. All right, there's Buffalo Gals. That's your work for the week. Super fun song, I think, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. All right, let's go grab. I'm gonna fix this again. This thing, I haven't quite figured out how to run my software yet, so be patient with me for just a sec. Let's go grab "You Are My Sunshine." G-U-I-T, guitar, shift, book 3, create, okay, and then we're going to play "You Are My Sunshine." What else are we playing? Vous, Dirai-Je, Maman. Which I don't have here for some reason, and All Through the Night. All Through the Night guitar. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's that. All right, so that's going to go there. Done. You Are My Sunshine. All right. C chord, right? Let's see how we do. Book 3, people. Remember, by the time you get to book 3, I assume that you're playing melody okay. I assume that's one of the things you're working on at your house. I assume that you're working on chords, including that nasty piece of work right there. Okay, and I assume that you played through the tough uke a few times. Let's play through this 2 times through. First time through, I'm going to pluck it. Second time through, I'm going to strum it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing a tiny bit of revising to this. That's F chord that bounces back and forth. It doesn't really work, and so I'm going to get rid of the second F in each of those, or the third F in each of those situations. So let me just double check. Yeah, so what I think we should do, let's drop the big F chord in measure 7 and the big F chord in measure 11. Those are creating extra work without creating extra benefit. So you want to do that big F chord at 10, let's say at 6. So we'll just tie that over for 3 beats and it'll sound nice. Or we could maybe add in a little bit of an arpeggio in there. Probably do that. So strum 5 6 5 5 6 and then 5 3 1. Yeah. So delete the full chords at the beginning of measure 7 and the beginning of measure 11. And then try to add in a little arpeggio pattern right after the chord in front of that, the 5 6 5 7. Strum that 5 6 5 7, and then play a 5, and then play the 6, and then play 5 3 1, and I think it'll sound better. I think those chords are causing extra work without making us better players. So I will update that sheet music at some point. Yeah, let's go play Vous, Dirai-Je, Maman, which is the beginning of book 3, right? I think. Vic says, I learned that they are faster than me, so I have to work to keep up, but it's fun. Yeah, you know, that's the other thing that I noticed in both the ukulele orchestra and the guitar orchestra. When people come, they're pretty good players. What they're not very good at is speed, and that's another reason to show up to orchestra is you will get faster, and pretty soon you're like, oh, I'll play melody. I don't have a problem with doing that because you're fast. But in the beginning, and of course, when you're in ensemble, you miss a note. When you're newer, you're like, oh, I got to go fix it. No, you don't. It's way too late. Move on, right? And you get very comfortable with just letting mistakes be mistakes. All right, Vous, Dirai-Je, Maman. We did talk about this last week, and so let's just play through it and see how we're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's on 12. That's a dumb one. We won't do that. All right, so there's that. And make sure you know the chords, right? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Right, so the chords are actually very busy. There's a lot going on with them, but hopefully you've spent enough time around G, C, and D7 to where they're coming out of your guitar pretty effectively. And of course the melody is pretty straightforward, so we don't need to work on that. So I'm going to ditch this song for this week. I'm going to pull over "You Are My Sunshine" for another week, so that'll give me a chance to clean up that F chord mess that I created. So let's move on from Vous, Dirai-Je, Maman. And your study piece for the week is All Through the Night. So we'll hang on to "You Are My Sunshine" and All Through the Night for the week. This is what you will be playing this week, and then next week obviously we'll study whatever. But let's talk about All Through the Night really quickly. Those of you guys who hung out with me on ukulele, this is exactly the same thing as on that. Let's just play it so you know how the song goes, and then you'll spend the week working on it. And again, this is a lullaby, so take your time with it and make it as pretty as you can. I've written it, the tough acts, under the assumption you're going to claw pick it. Okay. That's why you see, let's look at measure 2. You see a 0 up here and then 1 0 0 down here. The reason there's nothing in between those is you're supposed to not strum it, you're supposed to pluck it. And so give yourself a chance to practice that a little bit, especially if you're like me and you over thumb. You do want to grab your claw picking and give that a try here. So from the top, 1 2 3 4. Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian page 2, and that this clearly is meant to be strummed because all of the notes are together. From 9, go. A lot of drama there, and then go back to your claw picking. Play it 3 times total. Last time through you skip 16. If you were to sing this, the arpeggio pattern that I give you there again is mostly designed around the middle and lower strings, but I wouldn't worry so much about what I wrote on arpeggio and more about what I think would sound pretty, which would be an 8-beat pattern or an 8-pluck pattern. If I grab the D chord, go with me on the chords here for just a second. 1 2 3 4. Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels God will send go to your G chords. Soft the drowsy. Now, I have no hope of singing this. This goes way too high for my voice. But you see what's going to happen here. Soft the drowsy hours are creeping, hill and vale in slumber sleeping. And I might even do something. I might change my pattern there a little bit. If I'm doing the whole thing as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with thumb, index, middle, ring. When I get to that B section there in measure 9, softly drowsy hours are creeping, hill and vale in slumber sleeping. I might just go to straight plucks in that way. I'd probably do something different in that section just to make it stand out from the other 3 sections that you play. And of course, try different choices on that. The melody here is all not complicated at all. 2s and 3s for the majority of the thing, and then when you get that little run there, just make sure you're thoughtful about how to best accomplish getting to the 7, and then how you're going to get back from, how you're going to get up to the 7, and how you're going to get back when you're playing melody in proper timing. And those of you guys come into orchestra, that's exactly the kind of skill set you want to start putting in place. Hey, I got a song, most of it's down here, 2s and 3s. I'm going to play that in 2nd position, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, some zeros, and then all of a sudden I'm going to rush up to 7. So I want to have a attack strategy. When I see the 5, boom, I'm going to be here, 5, 7, 5, and then I'm going to get back to 3, 2, 3. And so having a strategy when it goes beyond the 5th fret, how are you going to get there? You know, even if it goes just to the 5th fret, how are you going to get there? And be mindful that some choices are better than others. Chasing your pinky around up and down the neck is never a good idea. I have just spent a lifetime trying to do it and trying to refine it, and it doesn't work. So be thoughtful in that regard. All right, so for this week, will you put in more time on You Are My Sunshine and more time on All Through the Night? I think the learning stuff that's in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is pretty basic stuff there. Probably just a helpful double check that you know what you're doing, and then let's go on with let's play All Through the Night this week. Be playing it with your claw as well as your thumb, and then double check you know all your chords and the melody is coming out of your guitar. I will clean up You Are My Sunshine, and then we will be whatever the next song is on the list, we'll introduce that. Let's see. Nancy is saying, I've been working with the MP3 today. Glad I have a week to rest. You know, we talked about it last night in orchestra, and we talk about it often, things you ought to do versus things that you do. I believe very much that if you will sit down without your guitar, leave it in the case, sit down with the MP3 and the paperwork, and just listen to it and read the words and go through it and through it and through it and really follow what's going on in the MP3 till your head knows, yep, I understand how this song goes. Then go grab your guitar and play it. I think you'll be better just from that experience. We talk about it often and we just don't do it enough. In other forms of music, like in Suzuki training, they don't even give you the first book. You just don't get it. They play it for you and you're expected to go home and play it by ear. And of course you don't get to pass the book until you can play the whole book by ear. And I don't believe in that type of teaching, to be honest with you, because I think it just automatically eliminates an entire group of people who are like, well, I can't do that. But I do think that putting your guitar aside and just listening as you're watching the sheet music roll through can really do you some good. And I think what Nancy says is, hey, I've been working with the MP3 and I'm glad I got some time to dig into that. First part is absolutely right. Work with the MP3s. Second part, have a week to practice. You have your lifetime to practice, Nancy. Don't let last week define who you are, right? Right now, those guys, the whole entire group is struggling, right? And if I had to sit down in that group, I would struggle too, even though I've been playing those songs online for 300 lessons or whatever. We played them a lot over the pandemic, and I will tell you that if I had to sit down and play with the group, I would struggle too, right? Because it's just hard to do. But really focusing in on the melody on those things, seeing how your hand's going to move, making decisions about those complicated moments, it'll come through. All right, guys, we've only got a couple minutes. If you're doing the classical program, I'll hold you over a few minutes and we'll play through the 2 songs that are on the website right now. If you are not doing the classical program, you can sneak out the back door. Don't feel guilty about it at all. The classical stuff I'm doing mostly for myself, and a few of you guys have said, hey, I'd like to do that too. And so just know that I get it. I really don't. I don't expect everybody to be like, yep, I want to do what Gary's doing. But I do think it's helpful for me to play them, and so that's what we're doing. So let's go grab, is it Carousel? Is that the first one we have to do? Yeah, Carousel. So grab Carousel. All right. And guys, we're going to play measures 1 through 8 twice. Then we're going to play all the way down to the end, and then we're going to come back and play measures 1 through 8 a last time. Okay, so it's really measures 1 through 8, 1 through 8, then the whole song, then the rest of the song, and then 1 through 8 again. Okay, let's see how we do. I'm lying. I just looked at that and I go, that's not a repeat. You're going to play all the way down to the bottom of the song, then you're going to come back and play 1 through 8. Sorry, I goofed that up. I don't like having that ending note there at measure 8. I don't know what the correct bar signature there should be. Grab your A minor. All the way to the bottom, and then come back 1 through 8. 1, 2. Note again. Is that interesting? It's a fascinating piece in the sense that those first 2 staves, 1 through 16, in that minor key sound very dark, sad, scary, and then all they do is go from A minor to A major. They don't really change that much overall with the approach to the melody, but the notes you're hitting are different because you go from minor to major. And how much happier the second part sounds, that you're almost saying, you get to the end and you're like, oh, I gotta go back and play that stupid sad ending or beginning again. And so that's a really, really pretty piece. I think honestly it fits very neatly in with the other stuff I've been doing. I've been playing out of some of the more advanced books as well, and they're honestly book 3, the thing I'm working on out of book 3, which is, this is book 0 that comes out of, it's not that much different, honestly, the skill set, than what's going on here. So I do think, spending a little bit of time on a piece like this can really make it down the road, make you sound like, oh, I sound pretty darn good. All right, so keep playing that one if you enjoy it, and then let's go grab Siciliano by Matteo Carcassi. Brief advertisement for Carcassi. He is as famous as they come in the guitar world. Carcassi is sort of the great grandfather of guitar. He's really he was in the classical period proper, and he was obviously a very fine player, very big composer, spent a lot of time putting out guides on how to play the guitar and stuff. Still still very much studied. So if you ever thought, I need one guy to really get me started, Carcassi is probably your guy. Torrega has the tendency to be a little bit more musical, a little bit more maybe more fun to play, but Carcassi, I think, really has every single thing you're going to need to know is in Carcassi, and he has any number. I think he's got 3 instructional books. I might be wrong about that, but one for sure that's got like a whole bunch of stuff. And when I took guitar in college, that's what I played out of, and I, of course, was too young to understand. I didn't have any classical music background at all, but I was way too young and way too inexperienced to understand what I had my hands on at that point. But now, as a grown man playing guitar, I'm like, geez, I wish I'd have stuck with that, and so we'll be having more and more Carcassi sneak into the program as we go along. He's just that good. This is Siciliano is what we want to talk about here. Again, with a lot of this stuff, I'm giving you chords that may or may not be helpful. I do think on some moments on this song it's super helpful. So you're going to hit the Z, put your A minor chord on, hit the 0, and then thumb and ring, 3 and 1, and then your 1 is already being held down, and your 0, so you don't even need to move your chord. Okay, so that whole thing can be played without moving. The only thing you gotta do is add your 3, right? Then measure 3. If you grab your D minor, you're going to have a whole bunch of notes already. Notice the 0 is tied, so even though I'm against it, I think all these ties should be gotten rid of. Carcassi didn't ask me, so we're going to play 1 0, hit the 3 again, and then the E chord here probably isn't very helpful, right? So you're going to hit the 3 and the 0. To the A minor. I do think the chord shape is helpful here. Okay, and then pay attention to the length of your notes. They're all up in the standard notation. That's a 2-beat note, and then hit the 0. Sounds like maybe you're in Sicily and you're a gangster and you're sitting in a cafe. Yeah, and that's kind of the feeling I think you're supposed to get from this. What I would probably do if I was an arranger and I wasn't trying to be faithful to the original, I would totally get rid of those ties, and you would have a whole lot more music there. but isn't that a pretty little tune? And I think if you could play that, you'd be like, yeah, I can play Italian guitar, no problem. And again, like so many of the songs we've seen already, A minor, D minor, and E. It's really the main group of chords we use to learn to play classical guitar, because once you get it your hands under that, then we add in the C's and the G's, and pretty soon you're just playing, you can play anything, because you've got the right hand skills in place to start. Just then it's just a matter of adjusting what you need to do with your left hand to make different sounds come out of the guitar. Awesome. All right, guys, that's enough for tonight. Sorry I kept you over. I always keep you over a little. I guess you should just plan on it if you're doing the classical program to be about 10 minutes over every Tuesday, Wednesday night. Next week, Three Blind Mice. We'll wrap up book one. Alouette. We'll go Buffalo Gal and whatever comes next on the list after Buffalo Gal. You Are My Sunshine. We will keep. Vous, Dirai-Je we'll get rid of. All Through the Night we'll keep, and then I'll add in a new third level 3 song, whatever the next one is in the order. Carousel will go away. Siciliano we will play next week, so I would work on that one. And then I can't remember. I already have it typed up. It's on the classical page. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but we'll get that one up there for you early this week, so you can start looking at that. So, guys, thanks for being here. Hopefully you're getting something out of this, and I know I really appreciate you being here because it's helping me work through all of my guitar stuff too. So, thank you for that, and I will see all of y'all. Let's see, well, ukuleles tomorrow and harmonica always, and otherwise I'll see you Tuesday night for orchestra. Just come, right? Just show up, do the best you can, and then Wednesday night we'll go through this again. So have a wonderful week. Some of you I only see once a week, but have a great week. The rest of you, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Let's see, and let me make sure I read everybody's comment here. Vic says great songs. They are great songs, aren't they? Good idea, Vic. Nancy, you are welcome. And Linda, thanks. And we love the classical. Yeah, the classical is awesome, right? And if you aren't necessarily keeping up with us, it's perfectly fine. Just, I think the big thing with classical is this claw. Boy, if you can get complete control over what strings you need to hit when, and I still work on it plenty. And then I think over here for me, the challenging part is just making sure my A minor is on the right strings and my E is on the right strings, D is on the right strings. Certain chords are easier than others to get on the right things. Once we get both of those two skill sets really solidly in place, then it's easy to move on from where we are at here. So thanks, guys. We'll see you soon. Have a wonderful night, and peace.